pretended like, okay, I was on my phone, just walking slowly, just around, started answering a fake call. Then this young child said, I would tell my daddy to pay my, quote unquote, my junior brother's school fees first, and me, I'll stay. So evidently, she is the older child, whilst obviously her younger brother is still dead. They both have fees to be paid. But I don't know how she heard or how she got to know that her father cannot pay for both fees at the moment. This is a reality for many Nigerians at the moment, right? But this is where we're having this conversation. So you see, now the child is now burdened with this information. And the child is now making a decision that she wants to tell her daddy that her daddy should pay the younger brother's school fees instead of her school fees. Now, this is very common. This is very familiar to those of our listeners who are above, I'd say 38 and 45. Those days, we heard so many stories of how parents decide, okay, Emeka will go to school first because we don't have money to train all three of you. They will choose one person, usually either the oldest or the most intelligent. And in some cases, the first child, who is the girl, is neglected because now girl. But now, this is a very difficult decision to make. If you go on X, we have a poll up. If you have 100,000 naira, ladies and gentlemen, and your two children's school fees is 100,000 naira each, whose fee do you pay first and why? Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a conversation.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
So 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. That's a WhatsApp and Telegram number. You can also call that number via WhatsApp alone. So WhatsApp calls can come through on that last number alone. Only WhatsApp calls. But I want to encourage you to send more messages this morning because, like I said, this took me by surprise yesterday. It really did take me by surprise. At Nigeriainfo PH, so you find us on Facebook and on X. I believe we have a poll on X, and we'd love for you to engage and interact with us. We're talking about making difficult decisions. What informs you to make a decision about your family? Once again, if you want to call the WhatsApp number, it has to be a WhatsApp call. So that's 0809 030-6416. You can use the regular lines, which are 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0007. 92.3 Nigeriainfo. Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Marcus. Go on, please.
Thank you. You know, the children that God has given to you, it is your own responsibility to make sure you train them. They are your major priority. They are your investment. So in such a case, what I prefer or what I would do is that I will share the school fees.
But that's the thing. What if you can't? Wait, hold on. What if you can't? You know, some school have staggered payments. What if this is the staggered payments they've reached, right? And the man is still not able to. He's still not able to. What if this is the point where they say, look, you either pay for one or you pay for the other? What do you do?
Well, I will let the other child understand. I'm not being discriminating here, though. I will pay for one person and the other person should wait.
So who do you pay for? That's the question. Is it the first or the second one? Who are you going to pay for?
I'll pay for the first one.
You pay for the first child. Okay. Muriel is on the line from Okrika. We have a concourse standing by. Muriel, good morning to you, please.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. It's Friday.
He did not see this eyebrows. Don't use to shout. He didn't do it. I don't let you know. weather.
Oh no, it's not the weather. I want us to get this thing off my chest. This child I saw yesterday, it touched my belly.
It's high. We will talk about it. But they want to Friday, raining out. So many people out there, they pass the Friday. Look, to me, I think it's parents to give this decision to make. It is really very wrong for the father to let the student know that he has school fees for just one child while he has two children. And something like that, he should be done on its own. He either pay half of the two children's school fees, not afford nothing something, for telling the two children to wait. That way, the children, the school fees for the two of you is incomplete right now. It's the children this decision to make that they will think and okay, let this go. No, it will not depend on food. That they will be so. I just say the people when they become wife or husband, it's their husband. That this mentality. This one, let is always so this person do important and this person now it may not even get it may be that decided okay that but for the girl now it make her see that okay it's the boy that
well, but that's the thing. That's the thing. Well, okay, wait, Mira, let's get to Okonkwo. Okonkwo, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, brother Jude.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Happy New Friday from Almighty
It's
God.
the first Friday of October.
Thank you. Brother Jude, cookies and who is with for me? Brother Jude, is there any need of going to school in this country?
No. Let's not start that way. No, but okay, well, whether there's need or not, the question is, if you as a parent have to make that decision, why?
As for myself, going to school in this country has not brought anything good for us.
Let's agree. So which one would you do? Would you pay for the first child, the second child, or none of them?
I will tell parents to allow the children and then hard work and go to business, forget about school.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay. Okukwa says, you forget about school right now and go and learn a trade, and start with life. But once again, interestingly, that is a decision. Once again, please, let's focus on the major topic here. How do you make those difficult decisions, particularly as it concerns your family? Where do we go to school? Where do we live? Where do we go to church or mosque? Or if you are religious, where do we go to when there's a problem? Whose house? Where are we comfortable with? These are very difficult decisions to make. We'll be back after this break.
The show continues after this break on Nigeriainfo.
I don't know, man. These days, all you hear is save, invest, save, Wait, how do you guys find this money? Is it not someone that is settled that will have money to save and invest? And even if I manage to invest or save, the interest rates are so low. And one can lose money in all these crypto and
of the month, and as we do every Friday, we try to have a good time on the program is Hello Port Harcourt. My name is Jude the Dude or Mamigbe. Just in case you are wondering, I am, by the special grace of the Almighty, if you're religious, or by the supreme powers of whatever it is that you hold there, the force and everything that's encapsulated in the universe, I am the lover, I am the messenger of all things bole, all things plantain, the species of plant that's divinely made particularly for Africans, for the rest of the world to come through and see how our roots run deep. There's this saying, the deeper the roots, the sweeter the juice. Oh yes, and plantain roots do go deep. So deep, even when you cut the stem off, you are most likely to find another one come through. There's a reason why Izo people are all over the globe. We don't need to be loud, proud, or rash about these things. We just exist because plantain runs in our thick veins. You cut one down, we are springing up like mushrooms, like the amoeba. We'll multiply everywhere we go. Why? Because there is bole once again in our thick veins. But now that you know who I am, I have a question for you. You see, decisions are made every single day. Your choice to listen to this radio station must have been informed by several things you've observed in the past week, months, or even years. So you are here. Now, there are very, very difficult decisions that have to be made as a man or a woman who has a family. Sometimes a family is 3 or 4 brothers or sisters who live together. What makes you take that decision is what I want to find out this morning. Because you see, a lot of people are facing that particular challenge. They're at a crossroads in their life. Do I go left? Do I go right? Or do I go back? These are decisions. In the case this morning, a father is torn between paying the school fees of one child over the other. Not because he hates one, I would like to assume, but because according to the eavesdropping that I was able to do yesterday, the father doesn't have the correct money, doesn't have the money, in its full form. He needs somebody, I don't know how much. So maybe this child overheard mommy and daddy talking. Maybe. I don't want to assume that the father told the children, I don't have money for your school fees. I don't know what the family dynamics is. But what have I heard? The girl telling the other person that, my daddy doesn't have the money for school fees. Oh, it's only money for one. I think daddy should pay for my junior brother's school fees first, and I will wait. This is a child making this comment, and I'm curious. If a father was to overhear, I put myself in that situation, my heart will bleed if my child was to make that kind of decision of his or her own volition. But we do know all hands are not equal. But decisions have to be made. How do you make them? That's what we're having a conversation about this morning on Hello Port Harcourt.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Stimulating and insightful conversations. Hello Port Harcourt, 92.3 Nigeriainfo. Let's talk.
So 017-923-0003, 017-923-0007, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0007. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH. We do have a poll up on X, I believe. All right, so you can get to X and just look at the poll. I want to get your views and your reasons on this particular scenario. So once again, I gave the scenario. You have 100,000 naira. You have 2 children. All right, their school fees is 100,000 naira each. You have to pay. You now have to make a decision. Whose fee do I pay first? The first child or the second child? And how do you make this decision, ladies and gentlemen, is what I would like to find out from you. All right. Once again, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo. PH at Nigeriainfo. PH. Well, Okunandi is on point here. He definitely is following the conversation, and he says, LOL, like minimizing the ration of food. 100. That's a decision, right? That is an honest, that you can't take it away from him. I think he's on point there. Yes, we know that at some point maybe you don't have the money to cook 4 pots of soup like you used to. So what makes you decide? Is it egusi I would do? Is it native I would do? Is it vegetable I would do? And then how do I ration it? What exactly informs that decision that you are making or you've just made? That's where we are getting to this morning. Now, WhatsApp 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. That's where you'll find us on WhatsApp and that's where you find us on WhatsApp and on Telegram. Now, Ibiz says we'll go use and chop food. No need. Everybody should eat. We won't pay school. Really? You're choosing not to pay fees. You're choosing instead to eat instead of pay fees. Okay. Now, once again, if you're calling us on WhatsApp, it has to be a WhatsApp call, please. Not a regular GSM call. A WhatsApp call, please. Because if you make a regular call, you're going to be interrupting the service provision for that service. So we want people to make WhatsApp calls, and you need data to do that, by the way. All right? So once again, at Nigeriainfo, PH at Nigeriainfo. PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo. PH at Nigeriainfo. PH. Round face from Rumekini says, good morning, Jude. I will pay for the bigger one first. Which is the bigger one? Who can be teaching the younger one at home until things fall in place? That's okay. You pay for the older one. That's the first child. Okay. All right. That sounds like a plan. You pay for the first child. Hopefully that child can, help nurture the younger sibling. And then when things get better, both of them. Well, that might work, but did you consider round face how that child may feel? Good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Good to have you join us.
Yeah, happy Friday to you.
I wish you the same. It's the first Friday.
Yes. My name is Alaye Goldfish.
Welcome, Alaye.
Yes. Okay, in those days, when we are attending school, most times we don't have, our parents don't have complete school fees for us. And what they do is, they take us to school and talk to the school authorities, the principal and all that, beg them, and tell them, okay, the money will come so time, you understand? So, we can still apply that same pattern for these both children if I have to. You understand? I go there, we speak to them and say, okay, within this period, I'll get this money. They can still be going. And you keep promising them until you get the money. Any money you have, you can give them. But where the school has strict, what's it called?
Rules,
you understand? You can just send the first one.
You send,
and maybe
so
when
why?
she comes or he comes back, you can still teach the other one until you have school fees for the other one.
But why are you so certain that the first one would be able to teach? Don't forget, these are children. These are like 10-year and 8-year-olds. How are you so certain that the older one will be able to teach the younger one what was...
Okay, even if it's not that one teaching, okay, there was a time in my school days, my secondary school days, that early time, I didn't. I think I missed the time to start with my other
Your peers.
mates.
Yeah.
So I started attending lessons.
Okay.
And there was one man doing lessons, after school lessons. So I wait for everybody to come back from school, and I joined them during that extra lesson. So that one too can be applied. They still have lessons like that, you understand?
Okay.
That you can just send them to any of those child too, and they learn.
Okay.
From those extra lessons. Or still you can do
homeschooling. But hold on. But like, if the man or the woman now doesn't have the money for regular school fees, what's the guarantee that they can afford homeschool? Afford a teacher to come and teach the child?
No, homeschool is not expensive. Not homeschool per se. You take the person to class where somebody that always organizes something like that. It has a lot of children.
Okay.
Going. Those ones are not really expensive.
Okay.
It's very affordable.
Okay. All right.
I said even in these times you can pay like 5,000 and you have these classes. Yes.
Okay. Well, we're learning something. Thank you very much for your time this morning. All right. So pay for one, and then if you can't meet up, you let the other one, understudy the older one, right? But I still occur to you that even if that is the case, what if the child, don't forget, children have different temperaments. What if the child says, hey, maybe daddy doesn't like me. Hey, maybe mommy doesn't like me. Hey, they always seem to prefer this brother or sister of mine over me. Children have very interesting thought processes, right? You'll be shocked how a child, sees blue and says, oh, I like blue because blue is the color of the sky. I don't like green because I don't like grass. Children do and, think in a totally different way than you and I will probably rationalize issues. So who's to say how the other child who is not going to school is going to react? That's the difficult decision. And look, I can paint several other scenarios here, right? But that's a very difficult decision to make. 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0002, 0817923-0003. At Nigeriainfo PH. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. The poll is up. I'm going to read the comments very soon under that post. As it is right now, 85% of our respondents are saying that they will pay for the first child's school fees and leave the second child. Why? That's my question. And once again, every decision that we make has consequences. So when you pay for that first child, are you considering how the second child would feel? Has it come through your mind? What is your plan, your contingency plan to address that scenario? And that scenario, I'm sorry to say this, it must unfurl. It must. It must. On WhatsApp here. Good morning, Jude. This thing happened to me while growing up. I just finished primary school, but I couldn't get registered to a secondary school because my father wanted my big brother to go to boarding school. Jude, I had to stay a full session at home. I was pained. I cried silently, because I couldn't confront my parents. We were always scared. But Jude, I hated my parents for it till I left the house. If I happened to be in this situation, I would take the children to a lower school where I can afford both fees without having to cheat one, Val says. But Val, whilst that sounds like a good idea, what if the school where your children are at present is a very good school? It offers not just fancy buildings, but you can tell that the children are growing, they're developing, they are picking up good morals, they are receptive towards information, and very importantly, they love their friends. They love their friends. What do you do? Imagine, children between that age of 6 to like 9, 10, They form very amazing bonds in school. Oh, no, I want to sit down with Tina today. Oh, no. It's two of us that will do it. Do you want to break that? It could affect them. Well, we're here to learn this morning. We're here to learn. All right. Back again to WhatsApp. The phone lines are buzzing. But let me some messages. All right. When you call in, get yourself screened. There's a call screener. They'll say hello to you. Tell them your name, and then we can have a conversation. All right. Now, good morning, Jude the Dude. Thank you very much. Now, in such a difficult situation, I will not pay for either of them. I'd rather get a lesson teacher for both of them to avoid favoritism. Okay. Avoid favoritism. We have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I do believe we're speaking to Prince.
Yes, Prince Jubilee.
Yes, good morning to you. What would you do in this scenario? How do you make this tough decision?
First of all, in this situation, I think to be on the safer side, what you want is education for your children. And if it comes to the situation where you can no longer afford fees, no matter how good the school is, no matter how the bond and the relationship your children must have had, let them see that you're transferring them to another school. I did think school that not see the low school maybe have no talent is a lower school.
No, but the children could tell if it's a lower school. So if you're going to a school where you can have school where all the teachers are minding their business or selling kwekere inside the classroom, they will know.
My brother, if you as a growing child, you people eat 3 square meal every day, and all of a sudden you're eating 2, you should know that
something has happened.
There are changes or a little financial instability. So when it comes to your education, where I will frown at it is you not providing education at all. You understand? As my parents, you don't want me to go to school.
Okay.
But asking me to understand that due to the situation of things, I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping one, because you don't know how that one you're keeping will feel. Just like a caller said, that he felt so bad then until he left the house. They might not be able to confront you as a parent, but even if your child refuses, you can impose it on them.
Obviously.
Take them to another school.
Obviously.
In less than a term, they will adapt to it. That is just it.
All right. Prince Jubilee, thank you very much for joining us in our conversations this morning. Difficult decisions. What informs you? In Prince's case, he says, look, I'd rather not deprive any of the children quality education. So we'll probably go down, right? Explain to them. Good morning, Jude. Look, it is the best decision to make and the wisest. Which of them? Which of them? Good morning, Jude. See, this happened to my siblings and I when my dad lost his job. He had to send us all to government schools. We didn't turn out bad because the foundation was solid. I was 8 years at the time. I see. Please, I encourage you to share these stories because as we speak, there are young parents who are in this boat. And having to make this decision, is a bit tasking for them. You would be surprised the number of parents who are probably listening in right now and they're taking, tidbits from those of you who have had this experience, and hopefully they can do better by their children. Pay half for one and half for the other, or withdraw both of them and get them a lesson teacher. And before that, I will have a heart-to-heart talk with them. And I'm not sure one will be happy seeing his sibling at home while he goes to school. I will never do for one and leave the other because I went through the same thing. I know how emotionally damaged I was. Nobody knew what I was going through. I still ran errands for my parents who didn't even realize that I was depressed. I can't do that, Val says. Oh, yeah. You see, these are the things that these decisions make. Now, let's get to X. That's former Twitter. All right. At Nigeriainfo, PH, at Nigeriainfo. PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Now, the poll, as it stands, is in favor of the first child. The poll is in favor of the first child. 85.7% say they will pay school fees for the first child, and 14% say they will pay the school fees for the second child. Now, Tony on X says the parents can pay for the two children by paying 50,000 for each of them for the time being and pay the balance later. The Desire Victor at VDZ says the one that's exceptionally brilliant is the one I'll pay for. So whether